Hey guys, how is it going? For this video let's review Rune Factory 4. This game was originally released in 2013 for the 3DS version and in 2020 it was relaunched for the Switch version. I'll be showing the Switch version. As usual for this I'll be checking its gameplay, story, graphics and music. So let's start with the story. In Rune Factory 4 games, something happens to the main character always, so they forget everything. In this case, we end up falling from the sky and land on top of a dragon, who later tells us to be something like the prince of this land, to bring more people to the place, take care of the crops and all that jazz. Within this story, there are 3 arcs, each one tackling a particular issue, like releasing the guardians, beating the heck out of the sex, or whatever it's pronounced, and revive someone. The stories aren't that original or with crazy twists, but it is a charming story. Also, there are multiple sub-stories for the main cast of the game. Some of these events are hilarious, and some others are really dumb. As the story is not particularly the best, but also there is a bit of everything, I believe it is a 7. For its gameplay, there are many things that you can do in this game, and something that I enjoy a lot is that it can go from something really basic up to something complex. For example, taking care of the crops, in principle it's easy, but there are 4 seasons and many kinds of vegetables, fruits, trees, weapons and dungeons that you can cultivate. Yep, in this game you can plant dungeons and weapons. They are not the most impressive ones, but they become quite helpful to farm some rare materials later in the game. That is for the farming. For the dungeons, there are several dungeons throughout the whole game. Some of them are simple and some others are freaking hard. Here it's where the most complex stuff comes. You can forge your own equipment, potions and cook to dive into these dungeons. There is a point in the game where you'll need to forge weapons using several materials, with several rarity levels. And the dumb thing is that you can pretty much make a weapon out of honey, vegetables and minerals, you name it, and forge powerful equipment. Obviously, you'll need to understand all these little mechanics to tackle the 3rd arc and the very last dungeon, otherwise with the standard equipment it is an impossible task, or maybe a really grindy one and boring. On this end, you can tackle these dungeons with either your pet monsters or people from the town. If you enjoy games like the old The Legend of Zelda games from the Game Boy Color era, chances are that Rune Factory 4 is going to be of your liking. The disadvantage is that in order to progress really well throughout the whole game, you'll need to focus on many activities, sometimes becoming a bit tedious. But other than that, its gameplay is really solid and entertaining. Something that I enjoy the most is that this game has different difficulties, but do not underestimate it. Hard is actually hard, and hell, it's pretty much self-explanatory. It is a 9. For the graphics, let's be honest, they are not good for what the Switch can actually do, and the difference between the 3DS and the Switch version, in my humble opinion, is non-existent. Regarding this, the game feels like they just made a background and threw the character sprites on top of it, so there are several things that look quite awkward. But trying to be objective, this is more about a cartoonish game rather than something real. Either way, the game looks a bit pixelated. On this end, it could definitely be improved. It is a 7. And last but not least, its music. This game has several pieces that are really good, some of them really calm and some others with extraordinary beat. My main complaint on this end is that these songs are quite short, so it may become repetitive. For example, the festival music became annoying for me, because all the time you are in the town, you will listen to this over and over and over and over again, making some of these songs really boring. But there are other places, like this one, with good music, where I don't really mind if it is repetitive. This, of course, it's going to change from person to person. Summarizing it, The music is good but repetitive. It is an 8. Rune Factory 4 final score is 7.7. That is trying to be as objective as possible. Personally, for the Switch version, I will say it is an 8. It is a good game, but could have been much better for this console. For the 3DS, I believe it's a better fit. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.